The false accusation. The morning started like any other in our quiet suburban neighborhood. The air was crisp, and my golden retriever, Max, wagged his tail as we headed out for our usual walk. Max wasn't just a dog, he was family. Everyone loved him, except Karen. Karen lived 2 houses down. Middle-aged blonde hair cut to her shoulders, and always clutching a clipboard like a weapon. She ruled the HOA board like a self-appointed queen. I'd seen her, scolding kids for riding bikes, too fast and measuring lawns with a ruler, but I never thought I'd be her next target. That changed one Tuesday morning. As I returned from our walk, Karen was waiting at the edge of my driveway, arms crossed, phone recording. "Your dog just lunged at me," she snapped. "He's aggressive. This neighborhood has rules about dangerous animals." I blinked, confused. Max had been walking calmly by my side the whole time. "Karen, he didn't even bark," I said. "Oh, we'll see what the HOA thinks," she hissed. "I'm filing a report." Within hours, I got an email from the HOA demanding proof of behavioral safety for my dog. They threatened fines and removal if I didn't comply. I couldn't believe it. I tried to reason with Karen the next day. "Look, Max is harmless," I told her as she watered her flowers. "Tell that to the neighbors who saw him," she said smugly. "People are scared." It was a lie. Everyone knew Max was the friendliest dog in the neighborhood. But Karen wasn't after the truth. She was after control. Then came the HOA meeting. Karen stood before the board, voice trembling dramatically. "He growled and charged at me," she said. "I barely escaped being bitten." The members gasped. I clenched my fists under the table. "I have evidence," I said, standing up. "Security footage." Karen's confident smile flickered. "I installed cameras last month after some packages went missing," I explained. "They cover the whole street, including where you claim Max attacked you." The room went quiet. Karen's face drained of color. The president of the HOA leaned forward. "Let's review that footage." Karen stammered, "That won't be necessary." But it was too late. The truth was already recorded, and I knew exactly what it would show. Karen walking past us, calm, with Max wagging his tail happily. No barking, no lunging, just her and her lies. As the meeting adjourned, I could feel her glare burning into me. This wasn't over. Karen wasn't the type to lose quietly, and I knew she'd come back with something worse. Max wagged his tail at me when I got home, oblivious to the storm brewing. I scratched behind his ears. "Don't worry, buddy," I said softly. "We'll show them who's dangerous." The footage that changed everything. The next morning, I sat at my dining table with a mug of coffee and my laptop open, replaying the security footage over and over. There it was, the full truth. Karen strolling by with her usual smug posture. Max calmly sniffing the grass, tail wagging. Not even a bark. I sent the footage to the HOA board with a short message. "For the record, here's what really happened." Within an hour, my phone started buzzing with calls and messages. The HOA president, Mrs. Reeves, asked if she could come by to verify the footage personally. She arrived with another board member, both wearing that careful, neutral look officials use when they know someone's in trouble. We sat down in my living room and I hit play. They watched in silence. When the video ended, Mrs. Reeves sighed. "Well, that settles that," she said. "Karen's claim is clearly false." Her partner nodded. "We'll take disciplinary action. Thank you for your cooperation." I felt a surge of relief, but it didn't last. That evening, as I was taking Max out for his walk, I noticed Karen standing near her porch, arms crossed again, glaring like she was trying to set me on fire with her eyes. When she saw me, she called out, "You think this is over? You humiliated me!" I stopped. "You humiliated yourself, Karen. Stop lying about my dog." Her lips curled into a grin. "We'll see who believes who next time." "The HOA listens to me." She turned and slammed her door. But I could tell from the look in her eyes, she was plotting something. 2 days later, I found a bright orange notice taped to my front door. Violation, noise complaint, dog barking excessively. Fine, $250. I laughed out loud. Max barely barked at all. She was at it again. I went straight to Mrs. Reeves, showing her the new citation. "She's retaliating," I said firmly. Mrs. Reeves frowned. "We didn't issue this. Karen must have filed it directly." That's when I realized Karen was using her position as HOA, vice president to file complaints on her own, without board approval. That night, I checked the footage again. Sure enough, around 11 p.m., Karen stood in front of my house holding her phone, recording the dark, silent street. She was pretending to capture barking that didn't exist. I couldn't help but smirk. "Gotcha again," I whispered. This time, I compiled every clip, the false claim, the quiet nights, the fake recordings, into one clear video timeline. I titled it, "The Truth About Karen." By the next HOA meeting, I'd be ready to show everyone how far she'd gone. But as I prepared the files, my motion alert pinged on my phone again. Karen was outside my gate, with someone else. A man in a reflective vest holding a clipboard. My gut tightened. Karen wasn't done yet. She was bringing reinforcements. Karen's new scheme. I zoomed in on my phone screen, watching from the live camera feed as Karen pointed toward my yard, gesturing wildly while talking to the man in the reflective vest. He was taking notes, nodding along. My stomach tightened. Whatever she was planning, it wasn't good. I stepped outside. "Something I can help you with?" I called. Karen turned sharply, fake smile plastered on her face. "Oh, this is the county animal control officer. I received multiple complaints about your aggressive dog again. He's here to do a wellness check." The officer looked unsure. "Ma'am, is your dog inside?" "Yeah," I said carefully. "And he's perfectly fine. Come see for yourself." Karen followed us up the walkway, pretending to act concerned. Inside, Max wagged his tail happily at the visitor, licking his hand the moment he kneeled to check his collar. The officer chuckled. "This dog's a sweetheart. Doesn't look aggressive at all." Karen's face twitched. "He must be putting on an act." "He's dangerous, I swear." The officer straightened up. "Ma'am, I can only act on evidence. Unless you have proof." "Oh, I have recordings," she interrupted quickly. I folded my arms. "Funny, because I have recordings too, and mine actually show the truth." Karen froze. The officer raised an eyebrow. "Recordings?" "Yes," I said. "Security cameras. You can watch how dangerous Max really is." I led them to my laptop and pulled up the footage. Karen pretending to record phantom barking in the middle of the night. The officer watched for a few seconds before sighing. "This looks like harassment. Not a legitimate complaint," he said, turning to Karen. Her face went pale. "That's not... You can't..." But it was too late. He handed me his card and said, "If she continues, document everything. She could face legal trouble for filing false reports." Karen stormed out, muttering threats under her breath. That night, I thought about everything. I'd proven her wrong twice, yet she kept coming. It wasn't about Max anymore. It was about power. A few days later, my HOA inbox pinged again. Subject: Emergency HOA meeting concerning homeowner conduct. Karen had called a full board session, and I knew exactly what her plan was. She was going to spin this, make herself the victim. When the night came, the room was packed. Karen stood at the front, clutching her clipboard like a shield. "This resident has been spying on me," she announced dramatically. "He's violating my privacy with hidden cameras." The crowd murmured. I stood up. Karen slammed her folder shut. "You're twisting everything." Mrs. Reeves, the HOA president, cut in. "Enough. We've seen the evidence." "Karen, your behavior is out of line. You're hereby suspended from HOA duties until further notice." Gasps filled the room. Karen's eyes burned with fury as she glared at me. "You'll regret this," she hissed. But as I walked out, I smiled, because I knew this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. Final exposure. After the HOA meeting, the neighborhood felt different. People started waving at me more, stopping to pet Max again. Word spread quickly. Karen's lies had been exposed in front of everyone. But if I knew anything about Karen, it was that she never quit. For a week, things were quiet. Too quiet. Then, one evening, as the sun dipped below the rooftops, I noticed something strange. My security camera alert pinged again. I opened the feed and froze. Karen was standing near my fence, dumping something over it. White powder, or maybe flour, maybe something else, and Max was barking from inside the yard, confused. I rushed out the door. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" Karen jerked around, startled. "Just keeping pests away," she shouted. "By throwing things into my yard?" I snapped, pulling out my phone. "You're being recorded, but again." Her eyes widened. "You can't record me without permission." "Public property," I said coldly. "And it's all going to the HOA." She screamed something I couldn't understand and stormed off. I checked the footage closely, and sure enough, the timestamp showed her trespassing and tossing an unknown substance over the fence. That was it. I'd had enough. The next day, I sent everything: the recordings, photos, and her history of false reports to both the HOA board and the county's animal welfare office. Within 2 days, an official letter arrived for Karen. She was facing fines for harassment, trespassing, and filing fraudulent complaints. The neighborhood erupted in whispers. Some people said she'd been removed from the HOA entirely. Others said she might even face a court summons. That weekend, I took Max for a walk past her house. Her curtains were drawn, and her yard, once perfectly manicured, was overgrown. As I passed, the door creaked open. Karen stood there, pale and defeated, no phone in sight. "You ruined my reputation," she said quietly. I stopped and looked her in the eye. "No, Karen, you did that yourself." She slammed the door shut, and that was the last time I ever saw her outside. A few months later, the HOA held elections for a new vice president. Mrs. Reeves nominated me. I laughed at first, but the neighborhood voted unanimously. During my first meeting as vice president, I looked around at the faces of my neighbors, real people who just wanted peace and fairness. I smiled. "Let's make sure our HOA protects everyone, even the ones with wagging tails." Laughter filled the room. When I got home, Max greeted me at the door, tail thumping against the floor. I knelt and rubbed his ears. "We did it, buddy," I said. "No more false accusations." He barked once, like he understood. The camera light blinked red in the corner, silent witness to the whole story. And just like that, the neighborhood finally felt safe again.